Welcome back to School's Challenge Quiz. It's the second match in the best-of-3 quarter-final round. It's now time for our speed challenge, in which teams can answer as many questions as possible in 3 separate 60-second periods. Westwood, it's time for your first minute. Westwood in the Bible, which king was told that he was weighed in the balances and found wanting?
Belshazzar.
Correct. A pneumatophore refers to what part of a plant?
Root.
Correct. Give one word which means both up-to-date and a flow of water.
Current.
Correct. Which regional institution uses the acronym CARDI?
Pass.
Caribbean Agricultural Research and Development Institute. Cynophobia is the clinical name for the fear of what animal?
Dogs.
Correct. In what ocean can the island of Bora Bora be found?
Pacific Ocean.
Correct. In music, what is another name for a demi-semi-quaver?
1/32nd note.
Pardon?
1/32nd note.
No, just 30-second note. In what group of the periodic table can iron be found?
12.
Incorrect. Group 8. What is the name for an angle greater than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees?
Obtuse.
Correct. Who directed the Jamaican film The Harder They Come in 1972?
Trevor Rowan.
Incorrect. Perry Hensel. In what year did Britain pass the Abolition of the Slave Trade Act?
1833.
No, 1807. For which, and we'll hold that one. That's the end of the first minute for Westwood High, and now we go to Charlemont for their first minute. Charlemont in the Bible, which king was told to set his house in order because he was going to die?
Hezekiah.
Correct. Fungi grows from the tips of filaments. What are these filaments called?
Pass.
Hyphae. Give one word which means both a genre of music and a stone.
Rock.
Correct. Which regional institution uses the acronym SEDIMA?
Sedima. Pass.
Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency. Chiroptophobia is a clinical name for the fear of what animal?
Bat.
What mammal?
Bat.
Yes. Easter Island is a special territory of which South American country?
Brazil.
Incorrect. Chile. In music, what is another name for a quarter note?
Quarter note. Quaver.
Incorrect. Crotchet. In what group of the periodic table can Mercury be found?
Group 3.
Incorrect. Group 12. What is the name for an angle which is less than 90 degrees?
Acute.
Correct. Who directed Smile Orange, the 1976 satirical
Trevor
film? Yes. In what year did Britain pass the Slavery Abolition Act?
1833.
Correct. For which Spanish La Liga team does... And we'll have to hold that one. End of the first minute for Charlemont High. Now back to Westwood for their second minute. Westwood, for which Spanish La Liga team does Luka Modric play?
Real Madrid.
Correct. For an object resting upon a non-accelerating surface, the normal force is always equal to the weight of the object. Is this true or false? No, that is false. What is the English translation for La segunda calle a la derecha?
The second street on the right. The second street on the right.
Yes. Which Caribbean author wrote the book Beyond the Boundary?
C.L.R. James.
Correct. Complete the Jamaican proverb Peacock hiding foot?
Because him.
When you hear about entail.
Yes. In which gospel in the Bible is the parable of the rich young ruler?
John.
Incorrect. St. Luke. What is another name for the chewing of food?
Mastication.
Correct. Spell allotment.
You have it?
ALLOTMENT.
Correct. Caramac is part of the Humanities faculty at the University of the West Indies. Caribbean Institute of Media and Communication. What is the name for any computer application which disables a pop-up from a web browser?
2 seconds. 1 second.
A blocker or a pop-up blocker. And that's the end of the second minute for Westwood. Now we go back to Charlemont for their second minute. Charlemont, for which Spanish La Liga team does Ansu Fati play?
Barcelona.
Correct.
FC.
An object which is moving rightward has a rightward force acting upon it. Is this true or false?
True.
No, that is false. What is English translation for está a 5 kilómetros de aquí?
Pass. I love
It is 5 kilometers from here. Which Caribbean author wrote the book Middle Passage?
V.S. Nepal.
No, Kamau Brathwaite. Complete the Jamaican proverb. If you can't get turkey,
You have to second for John Crow.
yes. In which gospel is the parable of the 10 virgins?
Matthew.
Correct. What is a simpler term of deglutition, which is the passage of food from the mouth to the stomach?
Peristalsis.
No, swallowing. Spell picturesque.
Picturesque.
Correct. UWIDEC is a department of the University of the West Indies. What does UWIDEC stand for?
Pass.
University of the West Indies Distance Education Center. What is the name for a set of instructions that tells a computer how to perform?
Program.
Too late, a specific task, and yes, it is programmed, but it was too late. End of the second minute for Charlemont. Now back to Westwood for their third and final. Westwood, in which African country is the Valley of Desolation?
Desolation.
South Africa.
Correct. What was the stage name of the late Jamaican reggae artist Frederick Hibbert? Yes. What is the former name of the group of hydrocarbons now known as alkenes?
Olefins.
Correct. In how many ways can 48 be expressed as the product of two even numbers?
3.
Correct. Who played the role of the Wicked Witch of the West in the film Oz the Great and Powerful?
Meryl Streep.
No. Mila Kunis. In which country was the Treaty of Ghent signed in
It's not like
1814?
Netherlands.
USA.
No, the Netherlands or Holland. In the U.S. National Football League, which player calls the signals and directs the offensive play?
Pass.
The quarterback. Is mass an example of a vector or scalar quantity?
Scalar.
Correct. Translate the following to English. El libro es interesante.
The book is interesting.
Correct. Which author wrote the book Isn't My Name Magical?
Pass.
James Berry. What is a Jamaican word starting with F which means impertinent or rude?
Fiercely.
Correct. In the Bible, how many rivers can...
2.
No. How many rivers ran through the Garden of Eden? And the answer would be 4. End of the third and final minute for Westwood. Now we go back to Charlemont for their third and final minute.
Ready.
Ready, guys.
Charlemont, El Cerro del Arripo is the highest point in which country?
Trinidad and Tobago.
Correct. What was the stage name of the late Jamaican reggae artist Lee Perry?
Pass.
Scratch or scratchberry. What are unsaturated hydrocarbons that contain one or more carbon-carbon triple
Alkanes.
bonds?
Alkene.
No, alkenes, or alkynes rather. What is the 13th even number after 89?
Pass.
114. Who played the role of Walt Disney in the film Saving Mr. Banks?
Pass.
Pass.
Tom Hanks. Name the treaty that was signed in a Dutch city on July 31, 1667.
Treaty of James.
No, the Treaty of Breda. In the U.S. National Football League, how many points are awarded for a touchdown?
7.
Incorrect. 6. Is impulse a vector or scalar quantity?
Vector.
No, I think the wrong answer came first. It's a vector. Translate the following to English. Mi padre está en el campo.
My father is in the camp.
No, my father's in the country. Which author wrote the book?
Yes, I Paul.
No. Profi the Crawford, and that would be Earl Lovelace. End of the third minute for Charlemont and the end of our speed challenge. Let's see the scores at this time. Westwood High are on 27, Charlemont High on 13. When we come back, it's the exciting buzzer challenge which will decide our winners. Do stay tuned. Schools Challenge quiz returns right after this.